an educationist, Ronke Posh. Now, Ronke Posh, nice to have you join us.
Good evening. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, when you heard the story of Chrisland involving a 10-year-old, how did this meet you as a parent, as a mother, and as a proprietress?
I actually heard just before midnight. I lost sleep. I was deeply troubled. However, it wasn't a shock. I just felt pain and pity for the family. But it wasn't a shock to my system because these things are happening in schools. And where there are no systems, they will continue. This is not the last case that we're going to hear of something like this. It just happens that this one is in the media. It will continue to happen as long as parents continue to demand the wrong things from schools. They don't prioritize the values. As long as there's challenges with parenting, we will continue to have it. It's not going to stop. This is not the last one.
Last one. You talked about parents, parenting, and schools. Now, there are quite a lot of things that are coming up. We've seen statements from the Lagos State government. We've seen statements from the school. The parent also saying it was a rape. I don't want to go into all those technicalities. But how do you expect a parent manage the affairs of their children in the light of what has just happened?
The beauty of my own life is that I run a school and I'm also a parent. So I can speak very well on both sides. As a parent with a child in a school, an elite school, I know what I can trust them with and I know what I cannot trust them with. My daughter is not in boarding school. It's not a bad school, it's a good school. But I can never put her in boarding school under any circumstances whatsoever. I will not do it. That is my own conviction. That is my own belief. Right now, all her mates are in school studying for final year exams. She's at home. I refuse to send her to school. And I don't care what anybody thinks because I do not trust the children and I do not trust that the school can manage the kind of children that we have these days. So it's not always the school sometimes. Sometimes it's the children that have no home training that we have that are out there. It's a big mammoth task for schools to manage these children. So I don't want any stories that touch. I have only one daughter that God has blessed me with. So I will not take any risks with her. So parents need to know that they should not take risks with children. When they go to schools, they want to know the fancy curriculum. They want the ambience. They want to know if they are Microsoft certified. They want to know if they're going to Dubai, to Brussels, to the UK, to the US. They want to know if there are social gatherings. They want to have fancy Mother's Day events. But they forget to say, do your children have home training? Do they greet? Are they polite? What do you do when it comes to discipline? Instead, they come and they strike the teachers. The teachers have no self-esteem. They are scared of the parents. They take bribe from the parents. So these things will continue as long as the values are not there, as long as they cannot punish these children or discipline these children rather. If they can't do it, then we'll continue to have this sort of issue. If we take children away, then the ratio must be right. I understand because I've listened to this and I've been close to a parent there that is currently in the school. I've listened to a lot of the version. The ratio was not right, number one. And if you go there, if this didn't happen to the child, because a lot of people have said, oh, the girls should be in another hotel completely, the boys should, but that's just rubbish. Because even if they are in different hotels, it can still happen. Boys can still abuse boys. Boys can still play with boys. Girls can still play with girls. So the system is still not in check. You need a system where those children, it's anything that is watertight. It has to be watertight. If you take children out of the country, if you take children in your care, people have called the girl all sorts of things. I don't care what she is. I don't care if she doesn't have home training. But while she's with the school has a duty, to safeguard that child, to protect that child. That is their duty at that very point in time, and they have let the ball down. They have failed, and they have continued to lie. Whether we know all the facts or we don't know all the facts, the fact that that video leaked and it came out whilst the children were in their care, it's abominable, completely abominable. And we are only hearing about the girl. How about the other boys? They should do it alone because we live in a patriarchal environment where it's only the girl that will be stigmatized. Where are the boys and where are the parents of the boys?
I'm not sure this school permits children of that age to bring phones to school. If they permit, then probably education should tell us throw light. At what point do you allow your children in school? I'm not talking of do whatever you want to do at home, coming to school to take phone. Because you talked about the fact that how did that incident get to the public? So who recorded? Was it the phone of the teacher, or students were allowed to carry phone, 10-year-old to carry phone? Please educate us again.
Again, the phone is insignificant. If I send my child to Dubai, I would expect her to have a phone so that I will be in touch. It has to be a way for me to communicate with my child if my child is away. So for me right now, this phone is still insignificant. It's not important to me. What is important is the fact that the girl left her own hotel room and went to another one. How did she get by? Shouldn't somebody have been in there with them, supervising? What if she came out and she got knocked down by a car? What if she was picked up by an adult pedophile? What if that happened? Something worse could have happened. She may have died. So it's still not the phone at all. It's the fact that she was able to leave her hotel room and go to another room where the boys were. Or call it a trick, okay, she wants to pick up her phone charger, whatever the stories may be. It really doesn't matter. We don't need all that details. The fact is that there was a loophole in the system or lack of a system and caused this sort of thing to happen to this child, which was that psychologically affects her for years to come if she doesn't get the right professional help that she needs.
Okay, I'll Adele for sharing your thoughts with us. And Roke, please, you have your space. This is not the last we're going to hear.
Okay. No, it's not the last. I talked a bit about the school. They have duty of care for the child. Yes, the parents may have dropped the ball, maybe not have known certain things are happening in the life of the child. But in this particular context, it's not the home training that is the duty of care over the training right now. Because the school chose that girl, took her there, they should have cared for the child. Now, when it comes to the government closing school down, when I saw it, I laughed because they closed the other school down, and when they closed it down, they are fully back in operation now. So this one is just to calm our nerves down so that we'll be calm, closing it down. Before we know, they're closing it down during the holiday. What's exactly are they closing it down? Before we know what's happening, it's your third check and it's business as usual. I don't believe that there's even going to be justice in this case. It's unfortunate, but I lost hope since the last major case that happened. That's why I said that it's not the last one. As long as systems are not in place, as long as parents don't continue to demand what they ought to be demanding, they go to school as social gathering, they brag. Funny enough, this particular case, I had about 2 parents brag to me to tell me that their children were actually going to Dubai. They were telling me, okay, right, do you think that this is the only misconduct that happened whilst they were there? Or is it because they haven't heard about your own childhood? And then during the meeting, some of the parents were still advocating that some people should keep quiet and not bring it out. Yes, I know this thing that will happen. They should not bring it out. They don't want it to happen because it is not your own child. When we keep concealing evil, I run a school. I'm saying it so that you will know, because I also send my child to school. So when you conceal evil, ultimately it will hit you. It may not be your own child now, but it can be your own child tomorrow. So we must ensure that we stamp out evil from schools. This is even beyond evil. It's a demonic act, because we've heard about pregnancy tests being run multiple times. We've heard about the mom. I watched the video from the mom being told different lies. I saw the letter online, which didn't seem to tally.
Okay.
So we must know that we have a duty of care. We should not be defensive. We should not tell lies. It's better not to say anything at all than to cook up lies to cover up a story when it comes to the life of a child. In all of this, the most important person is the child. And even while I'm in a panel with four men, I noticed that I keep hearing the girl. I keep hearing the girl. I keep hearing the girl.
All right, thank you so much, Ronke, for sharing your thoughts with us. Definitely.
Thank you for inviting me.